There are so many spacesuits in the movie Buzz Lightyear, and we had to approach making them through research and then think about how they would progress over time. So the first step is understanding, what's a spacesuit? What does it do? How does it work? So to answer that question, we started with research. We went on a research trip to NASA to look at how spacesuits are made and even get a chance to be in a room with them and to touch them and to understand the materials that they're made out of and all the layers that go into making a spacesuit. And then we had a spacesuit design consultant come give a talk to the crew. And we got to learn from that design consultant, what are they looking for? What is their priority? What is the most important part about a spacesuit? And we learned from them that it's an important and complicated life support system that really makes a spacesuit so special. And from there, we went on to finding inspiration in cinema. So there are lots of great sci-fi movies like Star Wars, Star Trek, Prometheus, 2001, Gravity, Interstellar. There's so many great spacesuit depictions out there in cinema, and we got to treat that like a visual buffet and draw inspiration from the suits that we thought looked the coolest. And then finally, we got access to a tangible replica. Someone had made a replica of a spacesuit, and I actually got to put it on and try to move in the suit. And what I really learned from that experience is just how much structure and life support systems weigh on you when you wear this, and just how much it changes how you move. So for example, spacesuits have a heavy metal ring. And if you're bouncing around and don't have the helmet on, that can just bop you in the nose. So you want to be really mindful of all the components and what they're for and treat them as intended. And what really landed for me when I was wearing this suit is how much that life support system is there to keep a human alive, because spaceflight incurs risk. And it really made me respect Buzz's journey that much more by reminding me that while I see spaceflight fairly often as a person living in this century, there still is risk and danger involved in going up in a rocket, especially if it's the test run for a rocket. And Buzz does that again and again and again with different suits and ships and fuel crystals to try to get his family and his friends home. And that made me really embrace the heroism of our main character. So the Toy Story Buzz is a toy that was inspired by the movie that Andy saw in the theaters. The Lightyear Buzz is that character on which the toy is based. Now, visually, the cool difference between these two entities is that the toy is manufactured to look right at toy scale. At this size, has manufacturing seams and screws on it that really show you that this is a toy. But the Buzz Lightyear that you're going to experience in the movie is the human Buzz Lightyear wearing a Space Ranger spacesuit. So some of the differences you're going to see are the proportions are meant to fit on a human. So the belt is in a different place, the shoulders are in a different place, the helmet is in a different place. We still get that iconic instant read and that look of the Buzz Lightyear we know and love, but now it's clear that this is on a human character. And you're going to see a lot of modeling details that give you clues and indication that this suit was made at human scale for a human to wear. So you'll see panels and seam details cut in that show you how it was made. In addition to that, you're going to see the shading. That brings it into a really believable world. Now, the colors that we choose, we had to be faithful to the original colors, but the wear that you see on top gives you signals that the scratching in the wear is again happening at human scale. Where two pieces rub together, you might see some color wearing off. And those cues and that rich visual detail help add up to the final suit. And finally, you're going to see graphics integrated all over the suit. Helpful messages like do not block next to a vent, or this side up next to a panel. And those messages are there to inform the spacesuit wearer how to wear and to use the suit. Now, all of these details add up to a human Buzz Lightyear wearing a Space Ranger costume. And it's a real wow moment when all of the people working on these separate parts show their work together, and you see it, and it's lightning in a bottle. That's the human Buzz Lightyear. So Alicia's hairstyles had to change frequently in the film because we needed to show that Alicia is embracing life on Takani Prime, and she is moving forward with her life. So we need to see her go through decades of age and visit her several times in her journey. Now, one of the really cool things I'm excited about in this movie is how Alicia's hair came to be in our computer graphics pipeline. We had a fantastic grooming artist named Sophia who really wanted to make authentic braids in Alicia's hair. She developed new systems and processes we hadn't seen before to be able to offer this to our character. So the first time we see Alicia, her hair is back tight in braids. It's a very utilitarian look. The second time we check in with Alicia, there are braids on the side, but half of the hair is loose on the side, and it gives her a really stunning and iconic silhouette. And the way the hair moves is just gorgeous. You'll see her again as she ages, and you'll see the color start to change, start to become grayer in some places. It's still our Alicia that we know and love, and she's getting frailer over time. And all of that together, we're so proud to put on screen. It's a new level of technical detail in braiding and in natural curly hair that we haven't seen before. Airman Diaz is one of the beloved Lightyear characters. Airman Diaz is in the flight crew. This means that he wears a jumpsuit, a utility belt, and a puffy vest with a beautifully puffy collar, a squawk box on top, and patches that show us where he is in Buzz's time progression. So, Diaz's jumpsuit is fit perfectly for his body. The vest on top has a lot of details. There's tons of pockets to put things. There's padding. There's quilted detail on top, all to protect Diaz if he needs to carry something heavy on his shoulders. And finally, we get the really appealing puffy collar of Diaz, which adds so much appeal to the roundness of his face. And makes a lot of sense too, when you think about he might have to be carrying things on his neck, and it's a nice soft protection for his neck. All of it comes together in a really appealing way for Diaz. The character that I'm most excited for you to see on the screen is Alicia Hawthorne. The first time we see her, she's in the Space Ranger costume, fighting alongside with Buzz and exploring an alien planet together. Now, the second time you see her, she's in her jumpsuit, leading her crew in mission control. And the third time you see her, you're going to see her in her formal commander jacket. And then as we visit her again and again through the montage, the jacket changes to show her embracing life and time progressing. For example, she'll get different Star Command pins. You'll see her get more ribbons for tours of duty. You'll see her rank patch grow, and as she becomes more decorated over time. And in one of the visits, we get to see her military uniform as a maternity uniform. Now, as time progresses, that same jacket that we know and love her in starts to look a little baggier as she starts to slouch over and look more frail. And we experience, from Buzz's point of view, watching his best friend get older and start to fade away. And finally, we see her in her hospital gown at her frailest moment, embracing the end of her life and reaching out to her best friend to share one more message. And all of those costumes together show us what Buzz is giving up by staying focused on his mission. He's giving up a life on Takani Prime. He's giving up a family, and he's giving up a deep friendship that he could have stuck around to be part of. But instead, he made the sacrifice to keep on piloting test ships, trying to get his crew home.